School's out, the days are long, the sun is actually out, and everyone around you seems to come alive this time of year. Pool days, road trips, late nights on the back porch, family barbecues, people making memories like it's the easiest thing in the world. And you're counting down to bedtime. Not because you don't love your family, not because you don't want to enjoy this season, but because your body is running on fumes. And summer, which is supposed to feel like freedom, is starting to feel like just more demands with less of you to give. And if that's where you are right now, stay with me. Because there is a reason, and it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. And it's definitely not because you're getting older. Something is happening in your body, and we can figure it out. I want to ask you something before we go any further. When was the last time you felt like yourself? Not managed, not okay, not fine, actually yourself. I ask this because women who come to me have usually been living so far below their baseline for so long that they've started to forget what good actually feels like. They've normalized the exhaustion. They've worked around the brain fog. They've adjusted their expectations of themselves over and over again until the smaller version of life just starts to feel like the real one. And that breaks my heart because that is not who you are. You're not the tired version of yourself. You are a woman whose body has been carrying something that it wasn't designed to carry alone. And it's been doing it quietly for a long time. Today, I want to talk with you about why summer specifically can make it so much harder. Why this season, the one everyone seems to love, including me, can be the one that leaves you feeling the most defeated. And I'm also going to give you some practical things that you can do right now, today, to make this easier while we work on finding the actual root cause. Because I want you to walk away from this video with both a real understanding of what's happening and something you can use today, right now. So let's go. Here's what I want you to sit with for a second. Summer is supposed to be the best season. More sunshine, longer days, kids home, vacations, time with people you love. And if your body is doing what it's designed to do, summer is energizing. Summer is life-giving. Your body is literally designed by God to have capacity for this season, just like every other season. But here's the thing nobody seems to talk about. When your body is already running depleted, summer doesn't just reduce the load, it adds to it. Think about your actual summer. School's out, which means your schedule just disappeared if you have kids, or a lot of time with grandkids. The structure that was helping you manage your situation just disappears. You're now on call more. There's more noise, more people, more decisions, more everything, and with less routine to lean on. The heat. Your body has to work harder just to regulate your temperature when it's hot. If your adrenal system is already under stress, which I'll talk about in a minute, heat is one more demand on an already overloaded system. Sleep. Longer days mean later bedtimes, yours and your kids. The light disrupts the signals your body uses to wind down, and you're getting less sleep. And what you're getting is lighter sleep. There are times when the day just isn't ending fast enough for your energy reservoirs. And the social piece. Everyone wants to get together in summer. Cookouts, events, gatherings. And for a woman running on empty, every single one of those is an event that she has to show up for, even when she has nothing left to give. So let me just name what that actually feels like. You look around at the cookout and everyone seems fine, energized, laughing, making plans for the next event. And you're calculating how much longer you have to be there before you go home and sit down. You wanted to be the one that suggested an evening walk. Instead, you're the one dreading it. You want to feel present with your kids this summer. Instead, you're counting down to bedtime, theirs and yours. And every single day that goes by when you feel like this, there's a little voice in the background saying, "What's wrong with me?" I want you to hear me clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is going on in your body that hasn't been identified yet. Not the same thing. Since we're talking about cookouts, let me give you something practical right now. One of the things I hear a lot from clients is that social events around food can create anxiety. Because when your body is struggling, food choices matter. And when you're hungry and surrounded by options that don't work well for your body, you're not making the best decisions. You're making survival decisions. Here's the simplest thing I can tell you. Eat before you go. That's what I do. I'm serious. Have a real meal, protein, something satisfying before you walk out the door and to a new event, not a snack meal. When you arrive already fed, the anxiety drops immediately. You're not starving. You're not standing at the food table trying to do math in your head while someone's talking to you. You can make calm, intentional choices about what you put on your plate, or choose to skip it entirely because you already took care of yourself before you got there. This one thing changes the whole experience. And if you're at the cookout and you want something, look for the simplest options: the grilled meat, the vegetables, the fruit, the things that don't come wrapped or from a bag. You don't have to make a big deal about it. You don't have to explain yourself. Just quietly take care of your body. And here's another one. This might sound too simple to work, but I promise you it does. If you're dreading going somewhere because you're already tired and you're doing that calculation, if I go, I'll be wrecked. And if I don't, I feel guilty. Try this. Lie down for 15 to 20 minutes before you go. Not fully sleep, just to rest. Close your eyes, get horizontal, give your nervous system a break, set a timer for 20 minutes so you're not worried about oversleeping. What that short rest does is give your adrenal system a reset. It lowers the demand just enough so that you have a little more to give when you get there. A lot of people call this a power nap and dismiss it as something for little kids, but your body does not care what you call it. What it knows is that 20 minutes of true rest changed how you feel. You'll actually be able to show up differently. Not perfect, but different. And when you're working with a depleted system, different is enough. Now let me talk about the thing that makes this even harder. Most of you watching have already tried things. You've tried sleeping more, you've cleaned up your diet, you've cut out things you used to enjoy because someone said it would help. You've taken supplements you researched for hours. You might have tried different doctors, different approaches, different everything, and you still feel this way. And that is one of the most defeating things there is, because at some point your brain starts doing calculations. And if I'm doing all the right things and still feel like this, maybe the problem isn't what I'm doing. Maybe the problem is me. I hear this all the time. Women who are brilliant, disciplined, and motivated, sitting across from me, convinced there's something uniquely broken about their bodies. And I want to be really direct with you. That is not what's happening. Here's an illustration I use for this. If you have a hole in the bottom of a boat and you're bailing water out all day, you are going to be exhausted and you're going to be still sinking. Not because you're not working hard enough, but because nobody found the hole. That's where we are now, in this moment. You've been bailing, you've been working, you've been trying, and there's something underneath all that effort. There's something we haven't identified yet, something that is quietly draining you in the background day after day. And that's why the right supplements don't seem to work the way they should. That's why the clean diet helps a little, but doesn't get you all the way there. That's why sleep doesn't fix it. And you can't supplement your way out of a cause you haven't found yet. That's not failure on your effort. That is just the order of operations being off. Let me show you something that most people have completely backwards. Summer feels like it's making things worse. And I want you to shift your thinking on that. Summer isn't creating new problems in your body. What summer is doing is pulling back the curtain on problems that have already been there. And here's what I mean. During the school year, during the regular rhythm of life, you have a structure, a routine. And that routine, even without you knowing it, has been helping your body compensate. Regular meal times and food choices, regular sleep windows, a predictable schedule, those things help a struggling system stay just above water. Summer disrupts all of that. The scaffolding comes down, and without it, whatever your body has been managing under the surface starts to show up louder. And so when you feel worse in summer, that is not proof that you are getting sicker. That is your body talking. And if we know how to listen, that's actually really useful. Now, here's some of the science, but I'm going to give it to you in a way it actually matters for your life, not the way it's written in a textbook. Your adrenal glands, they sit right on top of your kidneys. They manage your stress response. They produce cortisol, which is your body's way of managing energy, blood sugar, and stress throughout the day. When your glands are under stress and they often are in the women I work with, your body struggles to regulate energy. You're tired in the morning when you should be alert. You get that second wind late at night when you should be winding down. You crash in the afternoon. Your mood is harder to manage because your cortisol is dragging your hormones with it. Heat makes that worse. When your body has to work to regulate your temperature in summer, that is an extra demand on a system that already doesn't have margin. You're asking more from a tank that's already nearly empty. Here's something that costs you nothing and directly supports that cortisol rhythm I just described. Get outside within the first 30 minutes of waking up. No sunglasses, just your eyes and natural light. You don't have to exercise. I do. I go for a walk. But you don't have to do anything. Just be outside. What that morning light does is send a signal directly to the part of your brain that regulates your internal clock. It tells your body it's morning, which means cortisol should be waking up, should be on the rise like it's supposed to, and melatonin production that helps you sleep is turning off. Those signals set the whole rhythm for the day. Most of us wake up immediately, go into a dark house, look at the phone, drink coffee and artificial light, and then we wonder why we don't feel alert in the morning and can't wind down at night. 10 minutes of morning sunlight. It's one of the most underrated things you can do for your energy, especially in summer when your schedule is off and your body is trying to figure out what day it is. One more thing while we're on the adrenal topic, and this one ties directly into summer. Your adrenal glands need minerals to function, specifically sodium and potassium. And in summer, when you're sweating more, when the heat is pulling fluid out of you, when you might be drinking more coffee or less water than you realize, you are losing those minerals faster. Clean water helps, but if you want to support your body better, add a pinch of good sea salt in your water in the morning and a little cream of tartar, which is potassium, vital for your adrenals. And it sets your mineral use on the right track. Not complicated, not a protocol, just giving your body what it's losing in summer so it doesn't have to work so hard to maintain balance. A lot of women tell me that they feel noticeably better just from getting serious about minerals. I believe it. I experienced it, but also because your cells need that foundation to do anything else well. Now, here's one that surprises people. Parasites. I know, that's not what you expected me to say. But parasites are far more common than people in the US want to believe. And they are more active in warmer months and at full and new moons. If you notice a pattern where you feel worse in summer specifically, that's worth paying attention to. I went deep on parasites in my spring detox series. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it below. But the short version is, parasites are one of the most overlooked drains on the body's energy and immune resources. And most people have never addressed them. Let's come back to you for a second, because I know this can feel like a lot. You're already exhausted. You don't need a list of 10 things that might be wrong with you. Let me simplify this. The reason summer feels so hard right now is not because summer is making you worse. It's because summer is removing what has been helping you cope and showing you what your body has actually been dealing with all along. And that is actually really good news because it means there is something to find. And where there's something to find, there's something to address. And where there's something to address, there's a path forward. You are not stuck here. I want to take a minute before we talk about what to do about all of this because I think this matters. Psalm 139 says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I believe that with every fiber in my being, and I want to tell you what that means to me as a practitioner. It means your body is not random. It is not fragile. It is not designed to break down at 50 and just stay broken. It was engineered by a loving creator who knew exactly what it would face and is thoughtfully walking with you through all of this. And that design includes your capacity for this season. God designed summer for a reason. Even in nature, summer is a season of abundance, of growth, of fullness, of life going all the way. Your body was built to participate in that. When that capacity isn't there, when summer feels hard instead of freeing, that is not God's design failing. That is your body communicating that something is in the way, and that communication is intentional. Your exhaustion is not punishment. It's not proof that you are damaged and that you've lost something permanently. It is a signal from a body that is trying very hard to tell you something. And my job, what I love doing, is helping you figure out what it's saying. I work with women who have been to multiple doctors. They've done a slew of labs. They've been told everything looks normal, and they've gone home and cried because they knew something was wrong and they couldn't get anyone to take it seriously. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've been carrying this for 2 years, 5 years, longer. Maybe you've gotten very good at functioning while feeling terrible because you didn't have another option. And maybe summer, for the first time in a while, is making that harder to maintain. I want you to know that that is not weakness. That is your body finally getting loud enough that you can't ignore it anymore. And I want you to listen to it. So let's talk about what actually finding the answers looks like, because I want to be very clear about something. This is not about adding more to your plate. It's not about another supplement protocol you found on Google. It's not about a detox that you do for 2 weeks and go back to feeling the same. What I do is use a blood panel I call the root cause landscape. And the reason I love this panel is because it does not just check whether you have a disease. No diagnosis. It shows us what is stressing your body right now in real time. We're looking at whether there are hidden infections pressuring your immune system. We're looking at how well your cells are actually producing energy. Because you can be tired not because you're not sleeping, but because your cells literally can't make enough energy as they should be. We're looking at your toxic burden. We're looking at whether your body is absorbing and using the great nutrition you're giving it, or whether it's just passing through. And here's the thing. That information changes everything. Because instead of guessing, instead of trying this and that and hoping something works, we have a picture. We have a starting point. We have a reason. I had a client come to me dealing with something that had plagued her for years. She had been on antibiotics over and over. She was exhausted. She was losing hope. She had been told her labs were normal. We went through the root cause landscape. We found what was actually going on, and then we addressed it in the right order, at the right pace for her body specifically. Within 2 months, she told me her energy was very different. Her stamina was back. The reoccurring issue she'd been fighting for years was gone. It's not magic. That is what happens when you find the right thing and address it properly. Your body wants to heal. God built it that way. It just needs a clear path. I want to say one more thing to the woman who's been white-knuckling through summer. The one who's going through the motions, the one who's showing up for everyone else but running on nothing, who's smiling at the get-together while calculating when she can leave. You deserve answers. Not everything looks normal. Maybe it's just stress. Have you tried sleeping more? Actual answers for your specific body based on what's actually happening inside. That is what I am here for. And this summer, you do not have to push through without a plan. Here's what I want you to do right now. If you've been watching this and thinking, yes, that's me, I want to take the next step. Order the Root Cause Landscape blood panel. It's $99, and it's a starting point for everything. Not a guess, not another supplement, a real picture of what your body is dealing with. So we can stop throwing things at the wall and start actually addressing the right things. The link is below. And if you want to understand what your test is actually about before you start, or if you've already done the test and you're not sure what it means, I host live open houses where we go through this together. Small group, real questions, real answers. It's free, and the link to sign up is below. This is not a one-size-fits-all program. Come learn how the root cause landscape works, understanding what the markers are showing, and bring your questions. Because that is how healing actually works. Not by force, not by luck, by finding the thing or things and addressing them the way your body was designed to heal. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I believe, with everything in my being, that you were designed for more than surviving summer. Let's find out what's in the way. I'll see you next week.